What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. In today's video, we're going to be going over the most important news from this weekend and some top stocks to watch for this week. We're also going to be covering news about gold, the infrastructure bill, and some huge earnings for this week. The market had a crazy ride last week, with huge earnings from Apple, Facebook, Amazon, a lot of other companies, that Robinhood IPO, and even Powell's FOMC press conference. And it was very choppy. So just make sure to stick around to the end of today's video. We have a lot of great plays for you. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, this week's going to be nuts. We have a ton of earnings plays coming out. We have the earnings whispers chart here. And man, on Monday, we have Ferrari, which isn't too big. There's not too much huge ones on Monday. Transocean's pretty big. But on Tuesday, we actually have Alibaba, which has been having a very interesting move on the chart lately below that 200 support. CRSR, Corsair, British Petroleum, SKLZ after close. We have GM, Roku, CVS, Uber, Etsy, Fastly. Wednesday seems like it's going to be the biggest day. Even Kraft is reporting. On Thursday we have Moderna, Penn, which has been a pretty hot stock lately. Square on Thursday after close. Then Friday we have DraftKings, CGC, Chrono. So even the marijuana stocks are going to be reporting this week.
You know it. So I'm a huge fan of DraftKings, so I can't wait till Friday to see how their earnings report does. Over the past week, they've been doing pretty well. I know that they sold off on Friday, but a lot of stocks did. And, when you look at them just like on a long-term basis, they're one of my favorite stocks.
Yeah, mine too. I actually really like DraftKings, and then Penn is also going to be reporting. And both of these stocks, they just went through like the NBA playoffs, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. They're at these lows as well. So you would think that they would get a nice like boost back to the upside here with these earnings, but it's definitely going to be very interesting. There's a lot that goes into these like gaming / like sports betting companies. So it's going to be really interesting to see these earnings coming out.
Yeah, and then one last one is Corsair CRSR. I know that they report this week, and I've actually been looking to get into this one for the long term. So I'm really going to have my eyes on their earnings. But then, Tom, what's going on with gold? I saw it popped up out of nowhere on Thursday. It pulled back a little bit on Friday, but what's going on?
Yeah, after Powell talked and they pretty much said that they weren't going to be changing anything as far as like stimulus tapering or rate hikes going on. So it pretty much made gold go back to the upside. We did see it dip down Friday, but we did see, an overall market dip down on Friday as far as like a lot of these like growth stocks go and stuff like that. I know that like the indices like the QQQ and some tech stocks went up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that gold's going to follow that. The big thing is that it had a huge rise whenever Powell started speaking on Wednesday, and that's a huge thing for gold. I think it might show that over the next couple of weeks we might start to see some more upwards movement, and it's going to be pretty big. Gold is used a lot in these in a lot of these like computer parts and different chips and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good things going on with gold, silver, and just the overall precious metals market.
Yeah, I think GLD's if you're looking for like a long-term investment and more to like diversify some of your holdings, I think GLD's looking pretty good right now. It's a long-term thing, it's not like I'm betting on this going up tomorrow or anything like that, but I think it does look pretty good. And, in the grand scheme of things, it's relatively low. And, I think we can definitely see it rise up over the next year or so.
Yeah, I think so too. So a GLD is definitely looking pretty good. I really like it as far as like you said, a longer term play. In the shorter term though, be careful. If you're like going to try to swing this like next week with like some weekly options or something, that's going to be really, really hard to do with GLD. So definitely look at it more of like in a longer term sense.
Sounds good. And then what's going on with this infrastructure bill?
Yeah, the infrastructure bill is actually getting kind of crazy. We're seeing the markets up here around these all-time highs, and a lot of people are expecting this infrastructure bill to possibly push the markets back up through these highs again. And, the infrastructure bill, they're pretty much saying the text of it's going to be done today, but House of Representatives Speaker, actually, Nancy Pelosi, said she is not going to hold a vote on the bill until the much larger $3.5 trillion reconciliation budget is actually passed. So until we see that through, apparently, we're not going to get this through the Senate anyway. So no matter what goes on, it looks like the House is going to pretty much stop this one. But in the end, though, a lot of people are really anticipating this type of news coming out over the next few weeks to possibly help the market go up if we start to see all these big like budget bills start to get passed.
All right, so Tom, I have to ask you, what do you think's going on with tech stocks? Do you think we're going to see like a recovery this week?
Yeah, I think we really will with tech stocks. We're seeing the QQQ really start to go up right now. I really like how it's kind of holding its ground Friday. It looked really, really nice, and it's at holding those levels at 365. And I think that looks really good for a nice level to pass above for tomorrow. You could go up to like 365.15 if you want to get really technical with it. But man, I really like the way it held its ground Friday. I think the tech looks pretty good. It bounced off the 1,000 SMA. And the thing that sucks about it is that like Amazon and a couple stocks like that continued to stay down even. But the nice thing was, at least, is that QQQ went up on Friday, even though Amazon stayed down.
So I'm gonna disagree with you, Tom. I think that like over this next week and then maybe a couple weeks out, I think we're gonna see tech stocks sell off. In There's a couple reasons for that. I've been seeing a lot of institutions buying a lot of puts on a lot of these tech stocks. But when you look at Amazon, like you said, they had a pretty bad day on Friday, and historically, like normally when they have like one bad red day, I've seen that it normally continues for a couple days. And, if you have a stock as big as Amazon selling off, it's just going to put so much like negative pressure on the QQQ and other tech stocks. And, like I said, I've just been seeing a lot of smart money buying puts. So, we'll see what happens. But, it's good to have differing opinions sometimes.
Yeah, and I really like this bottom support at like 362. If we fall down and we break that, I think that it'll be a pretty bad move down. But just as far as tomorrow goes, I think that we'll see a pretty good recovery back up. At least I think we might like retest these highs and then start to fall again. But at least for tomorrow, I'm saying at least the setup at least looks like a nice like bullish flag almost type of setup.
All right, good stuff. We shall see. So let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. With today's member of the day, we have Luke C from the YouTube comments. Huge shout out, Luke. Thanks for all the great comments and thanks for being an active member of the community. But now let's get right into these momentum plays. With the first one, we have Enphase to the upside.
Yeah, Enphase is actually going to be also reporting earnings, I believe, or did no, they actually did, and then that actually helped them move to the upside. So actually watch for them to pop above 190. You could go to 191 if they break above that in pre-market. They like to move quite a bit usually.
All right, and then with the next one, we have Neo.
NIO, this one's been awesome the past week. This one's in another one of those type of bullish flag setups. If we see this one and Tesla go up, it might drag like tech back to the upside, but definitely look for like a break above 45.37.
All right, and then with the last one, we have eBay.
eBay, yeah, this one's actually been going pretty bad to the downside along with Amazon, and that makes a lot of sense. eBay and Amazon are pretty, they're not close competitors. Amazon blows them out of the water, but at least they're like really closely correlated in that sector, and make them fall below $68.
All right, so we are watching Enphase and Neo for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the level Tom listed. We are watching eBay for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow. And yeah, like you said, Tom, eBay got smacked on Friday, most likely because of that Amazon earnings, how Amazon reported that their sales were dropping. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on it. It's selling off pretty hard. But let's get right into the unusual options activity for this week, and we are looking at the AMD 110 strike call options that expired this Friday, August 6th, and there was around $6.8 million put into this play. I'm definitely going to say that the smart money is shorting these calls, so they want AMD below 110 on Friday.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. 110 is pretty far away for AMD. AMD did hold its ground very strong on Friday. It kind of looks like it wants to break those highs again, but the question is like you said, it's all the way up there at 110. I really doubt that we'll, be above there on Friday. So even if we like break above it on like Wednesday and then we fall back below, these guys are going to be perfectly fine. And I would say that the market looks more of like it's just going to go up tomorrow and then maybe start to taper off towards the end of the week.
All right, good stuff. Let's get right into the comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Luke saying thoughts on Tilray. So it was running up so much on Wednesday, and it kind of sold off over the past on Thursday and Friday, I should say. In my opinion, they're lingering right around this support at $14.50. As long as they hold above that, they should be good. But a lot of these MJ stocks have been struggling lately. Like I said, I'm really just watching that $14.50 support. And if it starts to break out again, the next major resistance is right around 17.
Yeah, and they had those pretty good earnings. And, later on this week, we have CGC reporting on Friday along with Kronos. So maybe that'll really affect Tilray later this week, too. If we see CGC have some popular, move really well, at least on earnings, we might see a good move out of Tilray. And CGC is one of the better, marijuana stocks. So hopefully that can kind of help boost the sector back up because, man, Tilray's earnings went great and it helped the market go up a little bit. And then we just had those two really bad days right after that big rise.
You know it. And then we have 6-8 saying, what do you guys think of Tesla? So let's take a look. Tesla had a good day on Thursday and Friday. As long as they hold that support right around 680, I like them. And then resistance right around 700. They've really just been stuck in the mud for the past couple months. So honestly, it's not my favorite setup in the world, but if it has a nice break above 700, it could definitely be a solid breakout.
Yeah, and that resistance up there right around 700 is going to be a really big level to watch for. If we break above that, like Mike said, we're going to see a good move. But if we don't, it might like Mike was talking about, we might start seeing a sell off in tech and stuff because, man, if Tesla gets a bad break here, they could be in another downtrend and possibly, get back down towards like 650, maybe like the middle of that range down there pretty easily. This is only the second retest of 700 that we've had. We retested it back here a couple times back in June and July at the very beginning. But for right now, it's just we haven't been there in quite a while. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we actually move above this level if we can. And if we do, we might see a pretty good move. Like we said, we had 697 on Friday and it seemed like we got pretty close.
All right, and then we have Sean saying, great video, was just eyeing Netflix and GLD for tomorrow. Let's go. So I like GLD over the next year or so. But Tom, what are you thinking with Netflix? Do you have any levels for us?
Yeah, Netflix got hurt on their earnings pretty bad. Going on to the 1 year daily chart, there's a pretty good support down here right around 505. I think that's going to be a good level for the shorter term. 500 is obviously going to be a big support too, but 505 is a little closer to the downside. If we were looking at a good level to the upside, I would actually look at right around, I would say 520. That looks like a pretty good resistance level of Friday, right around the highs at 519 something. So they got pretty close to 520. I would say make it break out above there. But honestly, Netflix seems like it's going to be a pretty big mover pretty soon. It's been kind of consolidating ever since it fell off those earnings. And it looks like it's just kind of poised for one of those breakouts to the upside or the downside. It's hard to say which way. I would say it ends up following the way, whichever way tech ends up going, but they also missed out on their subscribers on those estimates. So maybe they'll end up going down.
All right, and then we have I'm Fierce saying, awesome show and thanks for the member of the day call out. Thoughts on market and possible REITs if eviction moratorium is not extended and expires this Saturday on top of heavy earnings weekend. I like NNN and O. So I'm not really too worried about that catalyst. Just one thing to note is O stock. I was reading up on them and I know that they deal with mainly commercial properties. So, if the eviction moratorium ended, I don't think it would impact O stock too much unless there was some more news with that. But honestly, I don't know, I don't see it as a major catalyst. What are your thoughts, Tom?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too big of a catalyst either. Like you said with O, that's pretty telling that it has mainly commercial properties. They're normally more well off, they're not really dealing with those evictions. So whenever you're looking at this, I haven't seen NNN too much. It says retail property. So this one seems like it could be pretty good as well. I think they might be decent for the longer term, but just always keep in mind, these drops are pretty scary. And with everything going on again, they're talking about another potential lockdown. So there is always the threat of something weird going on again with these type of stocks. So just keep that in mind. But for the longer run, it should be good. Over the next 5 years. In the shorter term, though, I think with these ones, anything can happen. There's a pretty big resistance at 50, though, on Triple N.
Good stuff. So, guys, don't forget, if you want daily options, swing trades, day trades, options order flow bots, and a ton of custom bots, click that first link in the description down below. You can trade with Tom and I every single day and get access to an amazing options trading community. If you don't like it, you can cancel at any time, but definitely check it out. It's that first link in the description down below. Daily options, swing trades, day trades, and a lot of custom bots. Definitely check it out. But, Tom, do you have any last-minute stocks or anything you're watching for this week?
Yeah, I'm really interested in how Moderna is going to end up. We've been really looking at this stock. It's getting around these all-time highs. They do have earnings coming up this week, so definitely look out for that. Let's see what day it is. It's on August 5th, so definitely look out. I think that's on Thursday or Friday, so be a little careful. Those earnings are coming out, but this stock might start to go down. They're approaching those all-time highs. They like pretty much bounced right off of 360 on Friday, which is like right at that high. So start being really careful with this one. I think we might start to see a drop. It might break out a little bit more before we start to fall down though, but definitely have your eyes on these earnings. A lot of these stocks that run up like this, they have a hard time on earnings because the earnings have to be so good that the stock has to keep up this momentum. And with all the good stuff going on with them, they might already be like priced in. So just be really careful with these earnings. If we see anything weird come out, where we might see a pretty big fall to the downside.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. Of course, if you want to try out the bots, you can click that first link in the description down below. And don't forget to join Tom and I live at Market Open every single day on the StockedUp Live YouTube channel. The link for that is also in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.